Yeah, cool. Okay. Ray, I love how you've snuck a question in here.
Oh, what? No way.
Really? How did that get
How
in
did
there?
that happen?
How did that happen? You've been drinking as well, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He forgot he was on when he tweeted it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm on, aren't I?" Oh. Ask himself.
Yeah, actually, it was just a question we were asking each other last night on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is Gundogan? So we'll ask Brett, Jay, and Kurt. Is Gundogan a legit option going forward? So Brett, Gundogan, what do we think?
Just looking now, 3 goals in his last 4. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's even surprised me.
Have you been paying attention at Christmas? You're just like,
not really.
Enjoy Christmas.
No, I'm just so fed up. I'm so fed up of it. Honestly, he's not been on my radar at all. I mean, I didn't even realize he'd scored 3 in the last 4, to be honest. So sorry about that. Not for me. I get that they've got great fixtures. So at 5.4. Like if you wanted to set and forget him there at that price, if you don't fancy Souček or Rafinha,
Yeah, actually he's in that price bracket, isn't he?
Yeah, so they've got an amazing double week, like Palace at home, Villa at home, the fixtures after as well, West Brom, Sheffield United, Burnley. So I get the pick. They're starting to pick up a bit of form, City, and he's obviously in form, so I can understand it, and it might be worth a punt at that price. But personally, I just can't see past Souček just for the reliability. Obviously I don't have Souček, so it's like you want what you don't have.
Yeah.
But I just see him as such a great value option, nailed every game.
What about if it was Rafinha? Because I have both Souček and Rafinha, but I have considered Gundogan for the double game week. I'm not going to lie, because getting KDB is going to absolutely just demolish my team and would mean me selling Robertson again. So, Gundog was an easy way in.
I do go, I mean, if you can't get to KDB, which is what we all want, but it's very hard to, he's a nice little option at 5.4. If I had Rafinha now, it's a no-brainer just to keep him. He's got the double as well, when he's in decent form as well.
I mean, all of my starting 11 at the moment have a double, and a couple on the bench too. So I guess we just wait it out now and see actually who ends up with the double. But
there's just too many good midfield options. So for me, Gundogan's not on the radar, but I can see.
I
Sorry.
think we should do a shot for that.
Was that a hot peek by any
forgot I
chance?
had that sound clip on. Sorry.
I'm obviously boring Kurt now.
Sorry.
He has to watch YouTube videos when I talk. So not for me, but I can understand the pick. So it's not for me. He won't be coming in for sure. I like Rafinha and Souček better, but I can understand it with the fixtures and the double at that price. It might be worth a punt.
Ray, what's your thoughts on your own question?
Yeah, so I did a short poll and just under 100 votes, and about 30% of them actually said yup, and 21% said still analysing. So that's about 50 people who basically are considering it, including me. And one big thing is looking at the heat maps as well from his past 4 or 5 games, including the one yesterday. Is he's getting in quite into those advanced areas that David Silva used to kind of get into.
Yeah.
Which has shocked me really, because when they got 100 points, he was acting as the CDM pivot when Fernandinho was injured. So he is definitely having more license to kind of express himself offensively, because Pep trusts that he'll still do his defensive work if ever they need to drop in. So my eye is certainly out for him, and I'm really watching him at the moment. I'm extremely intrigued, not necessarily only because of the returns, but he's going to get a lot of game time. Yeah. I think he's becoming part of those 4 or 5 players that Pep's like, you know what, I can start you and trust you every single week because you've done it for me before.
Agree.
And technically, he's just so talented technically from his Dortmund days. So.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because even though Pep has switched up his team in the last 4, I've been quite interested to see that even though Foden's played, Gundogan stayed on. Even though Mahrez has played, Gundogan stayed on. He's literally stayed in that spot regardless of who he's put around him. So that's what's kind of interested me. I mean, to be fair, we all know what we're getting with Pep Roulette, don't we? It's KDB, Edison if he's fit, and that's the only ones you can bank your hat on playing. But after that, 5.4 is a little bit like that Foden punt where you could take it because of the price.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, you got to just take the rough with the smooth with it, to be honest.
It's not a risky punt because it's so cheap anyway. So it could end up being a bargain for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Jay, any more thoughts on that before we move on?
I mean, I like him as a pick. It's just, it's the issue of injuries at City that worry me, because I think they've finally going back to a similar system to what they were playing when they were scoring freely, which is not the double pivot, but just one pivot player, which is allowing which is allowing Gundogan to get forward. It's one of my favourite scenes in Friends. But yeah, I think it's allowing Gundogan to get into the right spaces, whereas when there was a double pivot, it meant the likes of Gundogan, Rodri weren't allowed to get forward as freely. So I definitely like the look of him, but I think right now, if you have Souček and that's the player you'd change, I just wouldn't bother. And I think a lot of other players in the price bracket currently are good picks as well, so I wouldn't necessarily be eager to make that transfer just yet.
No, it could be a little punt on the old free hit though, maybe.